All right, I will start in three, two, one. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Julius. I am as the member of government. We will discuss about our motion that this house would impoverish corruptors. We all know that corruption is the abuse of entrusted power of private gain. Impoverish means that take all what people have stolen from what they don't deserve to have it. In Indonesia especially, there are many cases found where many people corrupted. There are who work in public, often do corruption. We all know that they work for the resident of our country, but they do corruption on purpose and don't think about other people who especially harmful by what they were doing. Ladies and gentlemen, the opposition team say that the government don't deserve to impoverish the corruptors. We strongly disagree with this argument because the government is the one who can make the country justice and prosperous. This is why government's role is very important to solve this problem because government is the one who residents believe in. And also, the opposition team say that punishment in jail is effective for the suspect so that they will not do the same thing. This is true, but we can make it more effective. We know that when people in jail or rehabilitation is not free at all, they need to be given food so that they can eat well. This will be the state burden, and of course, this will reduce country's money or government's money. Ladies and gentlemen, we are from government team strongly agree with this argument. Punishment is one of the best way to solve corruption because it can give them different effect. If the government don't give them punishment, there are many possibilities for them to do the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, in this motion we have two arguments. The first argument is they take other people's right. One of the bad things that we always did is when we take others people have but we don't deserve it. Corruption is not only harming the government but it harmful the residents who deserve the money of what the corruptor has taken. Imagine if the government do corruptor impoverish, our country can be developed country among other countries in the world. The corruptors don't think about other people, family who actually deserve it. But the corruptor did. Impoverish corruptors actually effective because it's not only impoverishing the corruptor but also their family. This is very effective that their family will not do the same thing as the corruptor did. Move to our second argument is the government deserves to impoverish corruptors because the corruptors have taken country or government money. Not only harmful the residents, but the corruptor also harmful the government money. This is very harm for our country because of the greedy people. Like I said before that the corruptor is a person who is selfish and don't think and care about other people. If the government do this, it can be more effective to reduce corruption in our country. This is why impoverish is more effective for the corruptors. Ladies and gentlemen, we are from government team strongly agree if the government would impoverish the corruptor. The upending government don't give the way how to impoverish the corruptor. In our argument, we will give you our ways how to solve this problem. The first is the government is the one who deserves to do this. The government deserves to give their people justification so that the country can be prosperous. The government can take all the assets what the corruptors have stolen or taken. Of course, this is more effective to reduce corruption cases in our country. Not only for the corruptors, but this can affect their families so that the possibilities of corruption can be reduced. And then the corruptor must refund all the assets. The government is the one who deserves to do this. This can affect all the people who have relation with the corruptor. So this is one of the best ways to reduce corruption in our country. The people or the corruptor's family, of course, will not be there to do the same thing as the corruptor said. So this is why we strongly agree with this motion if the government would impoverish the corruptors. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jenny Barley as the government whip will convey the conclusion of the government's first speaker. One of the fundamental problems faced globally and regionally that affects all elements is corruption. Specifically, corruption is an extraordinary crime whose handling cannot be categorized as an ordinary treatment like criminal acts in general. From an economic point of view, economics use a more concrete definition. Corruption is defined as a beneficial exchange between achievements and contractiveness, material or non-material rewards that occur secretly and voluntarily that violates applicable norms and is a least an abuse of position or authority owned by one of the parties involved in the field of government and private. Corruptors think that it is not a big problem if they are forced to be detained in prison for only a few years. Then, after all, there is still a lot of money left over from corruption to be used for extravagance. The perpetrators of these corruption crimes get out of prison, their money is in the billions and they are still relaxed. In their mind, the corruptors are better off just corruption. The thoughts of this corruption must be abolished. The Corruption Eradication Commission will firmly trace the assets and the assets indicated as the result of corruption to its roots. Then, the assets can be auctioned and handed over to the state. Confiscation or confiscation of all assets and assets resulting from criminal acts of corruption will have a deterrent effect, with the hope that there will be no more corruptors who are still enjoying life comfortably with the remaining saving from corruption when they are released from prison. In addition to providing a deterrent effect, the confiscation of assets and resulting from corruption will be used to increase the country's wealth. The fulfillment of economic, social, and cultural rights should be carried out with a sense of responsibility by the state. However, if the money that should be used to make the people better and more prosperous has been corrupted, it causes a lot of suffering among the small people. So that we can see the impact is that there are so many crimes that occur such as robbery, kidnapping, muggings, even murder, all of which can be said to be the origin of the need for life. Apart from that, there is also poverty, lack of nutrition, children dropping out of school, less job opportunities, and so on. This is because the money provided by the national budget has been corrupted by the executors or rulers who cooperate with entrepreneurs. Asset confiscation is an anticipatory step that aims to save or prevent the escape of assets. If it is these assets that will be decided by the court whether they should be taken as an effort to recover state financial losses or as an additional crime in the form of confiscation of the proceeds of crime. The confiscation process is a first effort that is part of the investigation stage, while the confiscation process occurs after a judge's decision has permanent legal force in effect. Asset tracking has been carried out since the investigation stage. The confiscated goods in the form by money or savings in the account, beginning with the blocking. Meanwhile, if it is in the form of non-money good or goods, it is stored in the state confiscated goods storage house. Eradication of criminal acts of corruption is a series of actions of prevent and eradicate criminal acts of corruption through coordination, supervision, monitoring, investigation, prosecution, and examination in court with community participation based on applicable laws and regulations. Therefore, there are three things that need to be underlined, namely preventing, eradicating, and in the sense of taking action against perpetrators of corruption and community participation. The problem of corruption seems to never end. The motives carried out by corruptors are getting bigger day by day. Providing a trial and providing a deterrent effect for corruptors can be example for other state apparatus to be careful in administering the government, and also as a reminder for public officials or policymakers to be more introspective. We believe that the confiscated assets of corruptors fully confiscated can provide a deterrent effect and fear for the corruptors to repeat their action. That's all about our arguments. Thank you.